Okay, so I'm starting this day's challenge, which is reflections in puddles. There seems to be a bit of a dispute on Tinternet as to what a puddle is, but in my book it's a small body of water, like something you find on the street or in a rut in the path. But anyway, it's water, so we're going to try and do some reflections in some water. And I'm using Winsor & Newton masking fluid here to just mask out the sun, which is setting, and the reflection of the sun underneath. And I'm also going to put in a few, and I don't know whether this is going to be a good idea or not at the moment, but I'm going to put in some lines of masking fluid. Using masking fluid, everybody loves and hates it. Loves to hate it. If you use it, eventually you'll get the hang of it, I think. But oh, I don't know what to say about it really. It's a what is it? It's a double-edged sword. So I'm just putting in some lights here using the double-edged sword, knowing that I'm going to have to sacrifice this brush. Don't get carried away. It's not a very good brush. It doesn't matter. Even if I rinse it out straight away and wash it out with soap, it'll still suffer because, I don't know, something happens to the hairs. It seems to be sort of suicidally attracted to the latex stuff and you can't get it off anyway. So goodbye brush. It's been nice knowing you. Okay, now I've got to let this dry. I can dry it with a hairdryer, in fact. The only problem with doing this is that it might never come off the paper. So that's a bit risky. So shall I, shan't I, shall I, I will, I'll do it. So I'm just going to do that. I think I want to use some Quinacridone Gold for the light around the sun. So this is a Rosa Quinacridone Gold, which is not very good because it's somewhat opaque, but you know, sometimes you buy paints and you have to use them up. So for this demonstration little play thing that I'm doing, you know, I'm going to take a chance on that. Now, is this dry enough to paint over? Maybe. I might get a sort of patchy effect if I go over that right now. Going to, let me see, what shall I use in the way of a brush? The large round Craft Mo one perhaps, and I need to wash out my water, it's looking rather mucky. Here we are, that is the Rosa Quinacridone Gold. So I don't think we want that very strong. What I'm going to do with it is oh, I should wet the paper first, duh. Wet the paper using the large mop brush. Wet the paper, and down here, wet the paper. Pick up some paint and drop it in and around this area here, which is, I don't know, is it the moon, is it the sun? We'll see what it turns out like. So we just do that, and then I'm going to bring that down into the puddle below. Okay, and then I think I might go back to the biggie here, and let's pick up some nice dark blue. So you want black and the indigo, there we are. And let's run that across the top. I am going to run out of indigo before very long. So I'll do that, and then we want to make this run down. I'm working on a piece of Meaden cold press. This is 10 by 7. And that will do. I'm going to put trees over the top of that, so it doesn't really matter too much what that looks like. That's going to disappear. And then we're going to have a sort of lighter brownish beige bit going across here, which is the far bank, if you like. And then we go back to the dark colour and we'll put that in. Always looks interesting when you go over the masking fluid when you've done stuff like that and you think, oh, crumbs, you know. Okay, so I'm going to lift out the lights down here, and then, because that was probably not a good idea. Where's my black? Oh yeah, and some blue. And put some ultramarine in there to make it a bit bluer down the bottom. Come on, ultramarine, give it up. So with the tissue, we just sweep that out a bit. Bit of light. Okay, now we need to let that dry. And then we'll have to take off the masking and see what happens underneath. So I'll just dry that off. So that's dry-ish, I think, and I'm just going to remove the masking using my time-honoured tool, the thumb. I shouldn't do this because I'm slightly allergic to latex, well, not slightly, actually quite allergic to latex if it's inhaled, but as long as you don't eat it or inhale it, it's not so bad, although it does give me a rash if I wear rubber gloves, latex gloves. So anyway, but this is probably not going to be too disastrous. Just a little bit of latex like that, no problem. Right, so that's that. And then, oh, I think I need to sit down. I was going to put a row of trees along the background there, in the background, so I'll need a slightly smaller brush. Let us find one. How about this one? This is the number 7 Craftermo. So let's go for black mixed with brown, I think, to add a little bit of variety. So that's raw umber and black. And you can do all sorts of different types of trees, can't you? You can do your traditional fir tree like this. Actually, this brush is pretty good for these fir trees. We can do it like that. Just let it dance across the page a little bit. A different kind of fir tree. Put a bit of water in, let it run a bit, perhaps. Lots of background trees. Different ways of drawing trees. And then I think we'll define the bottom edge of the bank here like that kind of thing, and then we'll just bring the dark colour in between these. I don't know what this is going to look like, whether it's going to work or not, I don't know yet. And then maybe make it a little bit more bluish again. And we can bring in some more kind of shadowy things down here. Probably should have gone back to a bigger brush. I need to keep away from the middle there a little bit. Not in time. Whoops. Didn't want as much paint as that. A little bit more of that here, perhaps. And then my original intention was to put some birds standing here. So I think I need a smaller brush. The idea, I'll tell you what, I'm going to dry that because I'm going to have to put my hand on it. less talking at this point because you have to concentrate if you're doing birds. They don't just grow, well, they can do, but a little bit more tricky. And I think I put one here. What do you think? Right across the sun. Put his tail down there and his legs here. And then, because this is meant to be reflections and things, but you know, you just have to, I don't know how to do reflections. I'm just going to put some shadows or something underneath here like that. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'm going to take a bit more black and put lots of little ripples and things at the back here. Maybe we will drop in a few spatters in the foreground here. And perhaps a few bigger stones. Make him a little bit darker because he's in silhouette. And we can darken up the trees a bit in places, not everywhere, but in places, to give the impression that there are more of them. More layers, I mean, you know. Some in the front, some in the back. Always a good idea to put a nice dark line along the bottom of your tree line. Something like that helps to give a little bit more realism. Okay. Improving the shape of the birds a little bit there. I think that'll do. Okay, so there we are, a nice puddle. Okay, so at this point you say, I'm not going to fiddle with that anymore. I'm going to leave it like that. We'll let it dry and see whether the fairies improve it overnight. But for the time being, there we are. A few birds in a puddle. And what did we call it? Reflections in water. Well, see what you think about that one. Give that one a try. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.